The world is changing, the world's on fire. I want to do my part to inspire change.
Welcome, everybody. We're so happy to have you join us. This is the Ignite Illuminator series, and today we are speaking with Laureen Nowlan-Card and Adera Angelucci to talk about women leading change. And who would like to start with a question for these two lovely women?
Well, I would like to know what inspires you about women leading change, and how did that become a focus for each of you and together?
Okay, well, I'll start. Women Leading Change was a podcast that I started. I can't remember what date. It was around like 2017, 2018, because I am on a mission to have women highlighted, to amplify the voices of women, which is our tagline, to be in positions of authority and leadership and to lead change in the world. So Women Leading Change was born. I had the podcast, and then Adera and I had become friends sometime in there, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And we had talked about working together. We had, floated some ideas around. And Adera one day posted on Facebook that she was starting Women Leading Change group. And I said, "Oh, that's interesting." And I sent her a message. Adera, come off mute and tell us what you thought of that.
I know. I love it. I just started the Facebook group, Women Leading Change. And Laureen's like, "Oh, I have a podcast called Women Leading Change." And I'm like, "Oh, you do you?"
And
Sorry
I said, "Let's work together."
Together,
of course,
yeah.
It's obvious that I said, I'm taking this as a sign that we're meant to collaborate.
Yes, me
You're
too.
so in sync, right? Just like, of course, it had to be a partnership.
Of course, I was thrilled. I'd been waiting for her to commit to me for quite a while.
Did she have a ring?
No, but she's going to probably get one at our retreat. We'll see. Yeah.
And what inspires you about this topic, women leading change?
Well, for me too, I've been amplifying the voices of women in my work. I own a video marketing company with my husband for the past over a decade, and mostly we highlight women leaders and women who have amazing businesses and messages to share. And I get so pumped when I get to put those voices in the front and center with our camera and through podcasts I've had in the past and TV shows that I've had in the past. So women, highlighting them in particular has always been my calling. And for Laureen too, and her work that she's done in her past, she's recognized too how important it is for women's voices to be heard and felt really seen and appreciated. So
yes,
that's where we go. That's where we're at. Yeah.
Well, you're so in line with Alice and I at Ignite, because
I know.
We're so aligned, because we also really want to hear women's voices, and we know the power of women coming together and sharing. And it is absolutely powerful and magic that happens in those connections, right? So tell us more about your offerings and how you work together in helping to hear the women's voices and hear about change in women's lives.
Sure. First off, I want to say I feel a collaboration happening here, so we should explore that after this. But this is the beauty of getting us together. Honestly, we're meant to work together. We're meant to collaborate together. Like when I told Laureen I started my group, she was like, "Never competition, always collaboration." And it's such a beautiful space to be in, and feeling really empowered and supported that way, versus that we're fighting for some sort of level that no one else can kind of come to. It's ridiculous. And so
Alice and I always say we're better together, and I feel that, right?
That's lovely.
Even in what's happening here is that the energy is so aligned, and then it just flows and opens, and it goes into those higher vibrations that are beyond what each one of us could create on our own.
On your own. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to be for sure. So with Laureen and I mean, it is not in its infancy, but just that we're still finding our way with it, because we both own our own businesses on the side of this too, right? So this is our coming together where both of us can have an offering that we collab on and then also do our own work on the side. Oh, well, that's on the side and our own work full time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 It's the in between, the joining, and it really is a beautiful connection. And I think one of the things Adera and I agreed on, was that we could find a common ground where we would come together, and then we'd each have our own stuff on the side. There's no scarcity. There is no competition. It is pure collaboration. And we formed the group, and we have the podcast. And so inside the group, we highly encourage promotion in the Women Leading Change Facebook group, where we have some amazing women. And I think Adera is helping women to be more comfortable with speaking out about their businesses and the things that they're creating. And if you've ever seen Adera's and Spiro Creative's videos, the soul journey of the businesses and their core messages, it's gorgeous stuff that they put out. So I also was working at the time that we met in public speaking and having women through Woman Speak to amplify the voices of women in a speaking environment where they get to practice in feminine ways, because the speaking world has like kind of a very masculine structure, timing and how you do it. And women have a different way of presenting when we're allowed to do it authentically with the energy that comes through our bodies. It is magic. Yeah. So, that's how we started. Then we formed the podcast Facebook group collab, and then we've moved into events where I have to say Adera takes the lead on this. I'm an idea person and she's a doer, so she's amazing, and I'll let her tell you about the events. And then she's got some more ideas. I hear I might be traveling soon. I don't know. And I'm along for the ride. Like, I am up for whatever she wants to do. So yeah, it's
That's
fun.
awesome. We also meet monthly with our networking. We network once a month as well. So we get to know each other a bit better and have some real raw conversations. Like some of the things that are shared in that hour are like what you would share with like your bestie over like a glass of wine or tea or whatnot. So I love that we've created a community that really feels that they can show up as themselves, and we are totally there to support them. So yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about these events that Laureen mentioned.
These are just kind of getting started. So what she's talking about with Women Speak, and where I'm wanting to go with taking this across Canada is really creating a platform for women change makers to step up and share how they're leading change and inspire the audience on how they can take change in action and be more of a leader in their own life. Just like Maggie said, you need to fill your cup before you can overfloweth to your village. So that's what we're here to do, really, same as you. I mean, maybe we're collaborating on this. This could be.
I feel a synergy and alignment for sure.
For sure.
Women Igniting Change Tour of Canada.
Yeah, Women Igniting Change Tour of Canada. There you go.
Wow, I love it.
That is beautiful. Well, one of the things that we really have been talking about, Alice and I at Ignite, is that we really see that it's time for the divine feminine to be grounded, ignited, and on fire in purpose, passion, and in power. And so can you tell me your thoughts about that and how that might inspire what we talk about next?
Yes, yes, and yes. More yes.
This is my beautiful accompaniment here.
Oh,
That's nice.
oh, what's your cat's name?
It's a live fur.
Kitty. Yeah, it's a life for her.
Give me-
Sorry, she's used to being here with me. So yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Go ahead, Adera.
Well, I was just going to say, like, for the past 13 years again, when I started my company, I would go out to networking events and I would find women, primarily networking groups. I don't know why, but women like to gather more than men. I think that goes back to like the times when men would go out and hunt and the women would stay home and chit chat
And they'd
and
go
make
in the
sure.
red tent together.
Yeah, and hang out. So, I mean, that's just what we do. And really, women have been my greatest ally. They have supported my company. They are the ones I work with. I feel a real kinship to my feminine embodied leaders and men too, of course. It's more of a feminine way of being in the world. But you're right, masculine energy got so much hype. Like, this is how we do, this is how we go, this is how we create. And really, there's two ways, and so the feminine way of being in the world, it doesn't get as much play, but it also is as powerful and as magnificent and as divine as you're saying. And it would be really cool for that to be something that is honored, just like rest. I just had a conversation about how the chaos symbol and how it's you're in chaos where you're doing a lot and you're overwhelmed and all the things, and then you clean a closet or you finish a task and you create space, so you get creativity. So all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've got space to do more. But then the next thing is rest, and then the next thing is action, and you go again. It's a cycle. But everyone misses the rest because nobody gives power to the rest. Rest is like not worthy. Rest, we're not doing enough. We're not busy enough, yada, yada. But if we rest, we can actually create the space and the grounding we need to come alive and come back, so.
Which
Mhm.
is
It's just that.
really, that's beautiful, Adera. That's the divine feminine way, right? It's the allowing and then the building and then the expression and then back to the rest, and it's
Mhm.
following that wave. And
Mm.
I think the more that we can talk about it, I think that I didn't know that for so long. So I love that you brought that up. Because the more that we talk about it and name it, the more that we can see the wave in ourselves and acknowledge it and allow for space to support it.
And even this whole New Year's resolution thing, like, it's not the time or season to do anything new, to take action. You're meant to rest.
Right?
Everything on the planet is chilling. So just
Yeah.
take a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have the same perspective around play, as in play is not valued. Play is for children.
Mm,
We're an adult, we're supposed to be working, and being
mm,
productive or being creative or being in that doing stage, versus playing and being is just sometimes finding the joy in the small things and
mhm,
being childlike versus childish, right?
Mhm.
Being childlike, being full of wonder and amazement, and playing with the energies that are happening in the world, whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall. And I think women get to role model that as something very valuable. This is
mhm,
what nourishes us.
mhm,
We've forgotten in all the doingness, which is a male paradigm that we don't have to take on any longer. We no longer need to prove that we're as good as men or that we're equal to men. We know now as a society that women's value is just as important as a man's value, and our contributions are just as important. So I'm really amazed and so grateful that you are running this organization, Women Leading Change. I'm looking forward to hearing about more and more of your events. We know you have the Celebrate Your Light coming up in April 22nd to 24th. So is there anything you want to share about that while we're on that topic?
Before we move to that, can I speak to the divine feminine? Because I've been
Absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. This
I'm
one
going-
over here.
I'm going to own my moment to amplify my voice on this, and just to say, I could have just let this go. So I would encourage any woman who has something important to say to take up the
Yes.
space to say
Yes.
it, right?
Absolutely.
So, but leading by example. So the patriarchy is what I think you've been all talking about, and the patriarchal conditioning that we have absorbed as women and men. It's capitalism, it's patriarchy, it's how we've been set up for thousands of years now. But before that, there was the goddess and pagan rituals and the divine feminine. So I think what we're seeing is a reclaiming of the divine feminine. And what does that mean in the world, you know, being a human being? And how do we bring more of that into society for men and for women? Because patriarchy doesn't serve men either. It
doesn't.
The one side of the coin, the producer, the creating things from a place of being and getting to the end goal, as opposed to enjoying the journey and resting and allowing and being receptive and all of that. So I am owning being a patriarchy deprogrammer. I want all women and men to be deprogrammed from this idea, the 5 myths of patriarchy, which the most important one is that women and the feminine is worth less. We are in a society where everything is moving so fast now with the electronics and now AI and all of that. We need more than ever to bring the feminine in so that we don't completely burn ourselves out. Everything moves so fast now. We absolutely have to bring balance. And so if we continue to believe or have this inner patriarchy, even where we don't even realize we're buying into that subconscious belief that we need to work harder or be more, or you know, all those things that are burning people out, the people pleasing, perfectionism, overworking, all of that, we need to take a really hard look at the foundations and the values and the pillars on which we're working and doing and being. So that's what I want to say about the divine feminine.
I love it. Can you touch on the 5 pillars of patriarchy? So that
the 5 myths.
That's
well, romantic love is one.
Oh, debunking the romantic love. Okay.
Love that.
Dependency. So that a woman needs to be dependent. The primary one is that the feminine is worth less than men. And I mean, we still have a wage gap. I mean, do you need any more?
Huge.
That, right?
Yeah, right.
Let's not even talk about what the quieter, more subconscious things that come out of that. The visibility that a woman has to basically hide and not take up space or speak.
Yes.
And then the financial piece around, you know, owning our own stuff, having our own financial. It wasn't even until the 70s, 76, that a woman in the US could open her own bank account without a male signature. I mean, so 236 years is what they're predicting before we get to gender equality.
Wow.
Collaboration and communities, like serious collaboration, is how we get there faster.
We do.
Nice.
Not waiting for 236 years for
No, that's way too long.
Everything magnifies in collaboration. And the more that we can speak about these things, the more that we can shine a light on it. And when we shine a light on it, transformation speeds up, right? Consciousness speeds up, and what we get to focus on and create and co-create and bring in is it's exponential, right? And I think that what we're talking about is the truth of who we are coming back into, you know, owning that, owning our infinite power, that we are much more than our programming or how we were raised to be a good little girl, or how we were raised to be a good mother, you know, our modeling around that, a good wife, and so on and so on. I think that your whole platform is about women to use their voice, about women to hear each other, about women to show up authentically. And the more that we do that, the more that we free ourselves, and the more that we take off those chains that are keeping us in places where we're feeling not good enough, and that we've never done enough, and the things that extinguish our light that is always there for us, but sometimes it's been covered up and layered, and we get a chance to take those layers off.
Right. But when a woman steps up to be in leadership or open her own business, it gets harder. Like there's a time when it gets harder. It's a transformation. It's an initiation. into another level of being, and finding out who she is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can
when
I
it,
say, oh, go ahead.
when it gets harder, there's an absence of support.
Mhm.
Yes.
And that's what Adera and I have seen. There's, where's the support? Go ahead, Adera.
Oh, I was just going to say, I always say entrepreneurship is the biggest spiritual and personal development program that you didn't even know you signed up for.
And that's what I say too. So we were like, oh, I say that too.
Oh, look at
we-
that's a
who
great
said it
phrase.
first?
I
That's
love
a-
it.
We said
a
it
quote.
together. I think you probably said it first, Adera.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got one.
It's a spiritual journey. Everything that we encounter is
Oh, yes.
really. And have you seen, we've seen a lot of women be ousted from their positions of leadership. Or people like Melissa Marks, who left because she couldn't stand it anymore.
Yes.
And so it is hard. It is really hard to be a woman who's coming into that space. And so the attrition rate, the higher you get up in positions of leadership or business, the higher the attrition rates.
Mhm.
So what words of wisdom do you have for women that are wanting to step into leadership, expand in different ways, or that they're elevating and illuminating more of themselves? And there is this pressure, and there is this real thing that they're having. We come up against it when we elevate ourselves and illuminate ourselves and expand. So what words of wisdom do you have?
Mine would be to find your community, to find folks like me and Laureen that will see you and meet you where you're at and really be there to see you grow and flourish. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was my saving grace for sure.
So when we have each other's backs, we can expand more.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I'm not alone. And like, you're like fighting. Like, I don't want to think fight. I want to think more like, trailblazing. Like you're in a forest and you're hacking. You don't want to even hack the trees. I don't want to hack the trees. I want to gently go through and try to find a way for me to get through. And it is absolutely exhausting and it's lonely and it can feel like you don't know what you're doing and you're losing your mind and you don't know how to do all the things that it takes to run a business, or you might not know how to be in that position, and literally nobody knows, so we just need other people to see us and meet us where we're at and be that shining light, if you will, to help illuminate our excitement for it and keep the journey going strong, because there are many days we wake up and go, what the heck am I doing? Like, this is so hard, but someone's got to do it. And if you're feeling that call, then we say, we see you and we're here for you. Yeah.
And we get it. And we get
get
it. And let's show up authentically, no matter where we're at, and know that we are welcomed and there's a sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
What
That's
about
beautiful.
you, Laureen? What inspires you to keep going?
I agree with Adera 100%, of course. And I feel like when you find the right people who are not competing, who are collaborating and are supporting, you can fall into that place. Like I say, there should be a place for every woman to really fall apart, a soft place to land. I feel like we can be that for each other. And there are women who are standing at the top of the path, who have cleared the path ahead of us.
Yes.
Who can say, like Adera in her business, she can say to people coming behind her, let me lift you up. So it's the lift as you climb, right?
Absolutely.
And if you can find those communities, then you will be in such a better mindset. You won't fall prey to the overwhelm and believing that you aren't going to make it, because we will uplift you. Those communities, those women, they do uplift. So I agree 100% with that. Yeah. What keeps me going is my children. I am creating a world for my children. And I'm 53 in June. I don't have time to waste. I want to get busy and create a better world. So that's what keeps me going.
Love it.
Wow. I love it too.
I think those are beautiful words to end our interview on. And I want to thank you both for the time that you've spent with us today. And we look forward to hearing more and more about you. I think you're both now a part of our Ignite Facebook group, and we've got more exciting news coming. But again, thank you both for taking time out of your busy days to spend about an hour with Maggie and I and sharing where you're coming from and what you've accomplished and where you're going.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
We look forward to more cross-pollination and connection.
I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
The world is changing, the world's on fire. I want to do my part to inspire change. I want to make my home a sanctuary of love and peace and harmony, and be the change I want to see. The earth is my home, the earth is my mother. We will never have any other to help renew, rebuild, rebirth, a new way to be on earth. I want to ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I want to unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Come and dance, come and sing, come and pray, come and bring all